Maya, you ever think about how we met? I asked, leaning against the couch. She looked up from her phone, smiling faintly. You mean when you spilled coffee on my laptop? Hey, I offered to pay for the repairs. You offered to buy me another coffee instead. It's called strategic flirting, I grinned. She laughed. That soft, familiar laugh that always made the world feel right. You were terrible at it. I still got you, didn't I? Yeah, she said quietly, her smile fading just a little. That small change hit me, though I tried not to show it. 3 years together and I could read her eyes like a language. Lately, they'd been saying less and less. I grabbed her hand. You okay? You've been distant lately, she sighed, staring at our fingers. Just tired. Work's been crazy. You know how it is. Yeah, I said, though something inside me disagreed. You used to text me all day when you were tired. I'm still texting you. Barely, I joked, forcing a smile. Half your messages are emojis, she chuckled. You're such a drama queen, Ethan. Maybe I was. But love does. That turns every silence into a question mark. Later that night, I told Ryan about it while we worked on designs. She's acting weird again? He asked. Not weird, just ... off. Like, she's there but not really. He adjusted his glasses. You sure it's not just stress? She's got that marketing gig, right? Yeah, she said her team's swamped. I want to believe her. He gave me a look. You always want to believe people. That's your problem. Trust isn't a problem. It is when the other person stops earning it. I frowned. She's not like that, he shrugged. Hope you're right, man. I changed the topic, pretending I wasn't bothered, but my mind kept drifting back to her. To that half smile that no longer reached her eyes. The next evening, she came over after work. She smelled like vanilla and something faintly new, different perfume. New scent. I asked. Yeah, she said casually. Liam got it for me. Liam, from college. Remember him? He's just a friend. We bumped into each other last month. Right? I said slowly. The guy who used to call you Sunshine? She laughed. Oh my God, you remember that? It's not like that anymore. Just making sure. She leaned over and kissed my cheek. Don't be jealous, babe. I'm not, I lied. I just didn't know you two still talked. We're working on something together. A startup idea. I told you, didn't I? No, well, I'm telling you now. Something in her tone, sharp, defensive, made me back off. Okay, I trust you. She smiled again, but it felt rehearsed. That night, when she left, I sat on the couch staring at the door. The room felt heavier than usual, like it remembered something I didn't want to. Ryan called. You sound dead, dude. Maya's working with some guy from college. Liam. It said. That name rings trouble. She said, it's just business. What? Business or not, people don't change overnight. Watch your back. I can't live doubting her, Ryan. I'm not saying doubt her. I'm saying pay attention. I laughed bitterly. You sound like my mom. Your mom's right most of the time, I admitted. She said the same thing before. A woman's heart speaks before her lips do. So what's her heart saying now? I hesitated. That I'm losing her. He went quiet. Then maybe you should ask her straight up. I thought about it all night. The next morning, I texted Maya.me. You free for lunch? Maya, can't today. Meeting. Rain check. Hours later, I saw her Instagram story lunch with Liam. When she called that night, her voice was bright. Hey, sorry, my meeting ran long. Who's that laughing in the background? I asked. Oh, that's just Dorian, she said quickly. I looked around my apartment. Ryan was sitting on my couch, staring at me. I whispered, he's here. Silence. Then she said, you're overthinking again, Ethan. Am I? Yes. You always assume the worst. I assume what I see? I said quietly. Then maybe stop looking for problems. Her words stung more than I wanted them to. I'm not looking for problems, Maya. I'm looking for honesty, she sighed. I don't have time for this right now. I'll call you tomorrow. The line went dead. Ryan raised an eyebrow. Still think it's just stress? I don't know anymore, he nodded. Then find out. Before it eats you alive? For the first time, I didn't argue. That night, I scrolled through old photos of our college festival, her smile under fairy lights, the first sunset we watched together. I used to think love was unbreakable if it was real. But maybe it's not the breaking that hurts most. It's realizing you ignored every crack before it shattered. The next morning, I saw her message. Maya, missed you last night. I'll make it up to you. Promise. I stared at it for a long time. The heart emoji felt empty now. I typed back, sure, I'll see you soon, but deep down, something cold had started growing in my chest, and for the first time in 3 years, I didn't believe her promise. Who's that? I asked, glancing at her phone lighting up on the table. She picked it up fast. Just Liam? The college guy? Yeah. Why? You've been talking to him a lot lately, she smiled without looking at me. We're working on something together. Chill, Ethan. What kind of something? A business idea. You know how he's into marketing, right? I thought you'd be happy I'm being productive. I am, I said carefully. Just didn't know it was turning into daily calls. Wow. She laughed softly. You sound jealous. I'm not jealous, I said too fast. She looked up then, teasing smile curling. You sure? Positive. I trust you. Good, she said. Because I don't need a babysitter. I forced a laugh. Right, my bad. But inside, my stomach twisted. Later that night, told Ryan over video chat. She's working with that Liam guy again, I said. He raised an eyebrow. Again. Apparently it's business this time. Isn't he the guy who flirted with her at that reunion? Yeah, but that was ages ago. Ryan leaned back. Your way to calm, bro? Something's off, she said. It's nothing. I believe her. He gave me that look, the one that said I was lying to myself. You believe everyone until it hurts. Not this time, I said, though even I didn't sound convinced. The next evening, Maya came over, humming while cooking. I leaned against the counter. So how's the business plan going? Good. Liam's got great ideas. He is smart, Ethan. Yeah. She smiled as she stirred the pasta. You'd like him if you tried. I thought I did, I muttered. She looked over. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing. Just tea seems a little too close. She sighed. Not again. You're reading into things? I'm asking questions. You're accusing me? No, I'm not. Yes, you are. She snapped, turning off the stove. I can't even mention a friend without you freaking out. I'm not freaking out, I said, keeping my voice calm. But when your friend texts you at midnight, it's not exactly professional. She finished coldly. You think I'm cheating? I didn't say that. You don't have to. The silence between us thickened. I took a deep breath. Look, I just miss how we were. You, me, dumb movies, long talks, people get busy. Ethan, it's life. Yeah, I said quietly. I get it, but I didn't. She left early that night. Said she had a meeting with Liam. When I texted later, she didn't reply. The next morning, I opened her Instagram story. A coffee cup, 2 hands, his watch. Caption, brainstorming nights never end. My chest tightened. Ryan called at noon. You look like hell. I saw something I wish I didn't, Maya. Yeah, with him. Dude, he sighed. You gotta confront her. Maybe it's harmless. Ethan, his tone softened. You already know it's not. That evening she came over smiling. Hey, stranger, I tried to smile back. Busy day? Yeah, meetings all day. I'm exhausted. With Liam? She hesitated a second too long. Yeah, he's helping with the investor deck, right, I said. You two seem to hang out a lot. She put her bag down sharply. Are we doing this again? I just asked a question. You don't trust me anymore. I want to. But you make it hard when you lie. Her eyes narrowed. Lie? About what? I pulled my phone from my pocket, showing her the screenshot. Can't wait to see you again tonight, she blinked. You went through my messages? No, you left your phone on the counter. The screen lit up. So you read it? I didn't mean to. She crossed her arms. That's private, Ethan. That's not the point. Oh, it's not. Her voice rose. Then what's the point? That I can't talk to anyone male without you losing it. I'm losing it because you're hiding something. I'm not hiding anything. Then explain the heart. She groaned. It's just an emoji. You're paranoid, am I? I asked quietly. Yes, she said. You're imagining things. God, I can't breathe with you sometimes. I stared at her, searching for a flicker of truth. Do you even hear yourself? I'm trying to build something for my future, and you're turning it into drama. I thought we were the future, I said, voice cracking. She looked away. Maybe you're just not used to me having ambitions. That's not fair. What's not fair is you snooping like some insecure teenager. Her words hit harder than she knew. I swallowed, lowering my voice. I'm sorry, okay? I shouldn't have looked. Her tone softened instantly. Ethan, you've got to trust me. Liam's just a friend. I nodded slowly. Yeah, I know. But I didn't. She smiled, stepped closer, kissed my cheek. Good, because I need you to be on my side. I am, I whispered. She left soon after, humming again. Ryan called minutes later. So, how'd it go? She called me paranoid. And you apologized, didn't you? Yeah, he groaned. Classic you. Maybe she's right, I said quietly. Maybe I'm overthinking. Maybe she's making you think that. Listen, man. Trust is good, but blind faith, that's suicide. I leaned back on the couch, staring at the door she'd just walked through. I don't know what's real anymore. You'll find out, he said. The truth always leaks through the cracks. I hung up, staring at her last message glowing on my phone. Good night, my love. For the first time, those words felt hollow, and even though I said goodnight back, it didn't feel like love anymore. I pushed open the cafe door, hoping to catch her by surprise. Maya. I called softly. She didn't look up. I froze, mid-step. There she was, smiling at someone. Liam, and they were holding hands. I blinked. My chest constricted. My stomach pitched. The world blurred for a second. Ethan. Ryan's voice echoed in my mind. I see it. Don't ignore it. I forced my legs to move toward them, but my brain lagged behind. Hey, Maya, I said finally, my voice tight. Her head whipped up. Ethan. I didn't see you come in. You're with him, I said, my voice trembling. It's not what it looks like, she said. But the words didn't reach my ears. Liam smirked, still holding her hand. Hey, man. Hey, I managed, feeling the taste of metal in my mouth. Maya's eyes flicked to him, guilt flashing for a moment, then gone. I can explain. Explain what? I asked, my voice cracking. Nothing. I mean, we're just talking. I stared at them, unable to breathe. Their laughter cut into me like knives. Ethan, sit, Liam said casually, patting the chair opposite him. I shook my head. No, I can't. You're overreacting, Maya said. Her hand slipped from his, but her voice was calm, almost rehearsed. Overreacting? I repeated. You're holding his hand in public? 3 years. Do you have any idea what this feels like? You'll ruin this for everyone, Liam said, his tone sharp now. Everyone. What about me? Do I count? Maya looked down. I know. Don't. Don't even start, I said, my fingers trembling. I clenched them until my nails dug into my palms. The tremor wouldn't stop. Ethan, please, please, what? Please forgive you. Please pretend this never happened. Her eyes watered. I didn't mean for it to happen like this, but it did. And you didn't care who got hurt along the way. Liam laughed lightly. Dramatic much. I felt rage bubble up, hot and sharp. You think this is a joke? Maya stood, hesitating. I can explain everything. No, you can't. I don't want explanations. I don't want lies. I can't do this. I turned, my legs heavy, my heart heavier. The air felt like stone around me. I could still see them sitting there, smiling at each other as if the last 3 years meant nothing. I walked out, each step louder than the last. My chest burned. My vision blurred. I gripped the door handle outside until my knuckles whitened. I sank onto the bench across the street, shoving my face into my hands. My phone buzzed her message. Maya, Ethan, wait. I can explain. I didn't reply. I stared at the pavement, the words feeling like ash in my mouth. Minutes passed, or maybe hours. I couldn't tell. I felt hollow, a part of me gone, carried off by the sight of them together. When I got home, I opened my gallery. Every photo of her, every memory, every smile stared back at me. My hands shook as I deleted them one by one. You're pathetic, I whispered to myself, though my voice sounded foreign. But even as I deleted the pictures, I couldn't delete her from my mind. Every laugh, every touch, every kiss replayed endlessly. I called Ryan. I saw them. I know, he said simply. What do you mean you know? I could see it coming. I tried to tell you. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to believe it, I admitted. He was quiet for a moment. And now, I let out a shaky breath. Now? It feels like my chest is breaking. You're allowed to feel that, he said. But don't let it consume you. I already am, I said, my voice raw. I can't eat. I can't sleep. I can't stop, he interrupted. You have to stop. Don't let them win your life. You hear me? I swallowed. I don't know if I can. You can, he said firmly. But you need to stop watching. Stop waiting for apologies that will never come. I wanted to ask her why, I whispered. Why? Because I loved her. Because I trusted her. Because I thought we had something real. And now, I clenched my fists. Now I don't even know if I can stand to hear her voice again. Good, he said gently. Let that anger fuel you. But don't let it destroy you. I leaned back on my bed, staring at the ceiling. My phone buzzed again. Another message from her. Maya, Ethan, please, I didn't mean for it to get this far. I didn't open it. Instead, I deleted her last texts. I deleted her pictures from the chat. I deleted everything. And yet, when I closed my eyes, I could still see her hand in his. I could still hear her laughter with him, and I knew, no matter how much I erased, she wouldn't leave my mind. The night stretched on, endless and quiet. Filled only with the sound of my own ragged breathing, I whispered into the darkness, I loved you, and you broke me. I woke up to silence. The bed felt empty, cold. My phone buzzed, her name flashing across the screen. I didn't answer Ethan. You look like hell, Ryan said when I finally met him at the office. Thanks for noticing, I muttered. Staring at my keyboard, you've barely touched your lunch, he said, glancing at my untouched sandwich. I'm not hungry, or just not able to eat. I just don't care, I said quietly. He frowned. Come on, man. You can't go on like this. I'm fine, I lied. Ryan didn't argue. He never argued. He just left a bottle of water and sat across from me. Talk to me when you're ready. Passed in a fog. I'd wake up alone, make coffee I couldn't taste, and sit staring at my phone. Every vibration made my heart jump. One afternoon, Maya called, Ethan, can we talk? I don't know if we should. I didn't mean to hurt you, she said, her voice soft, almost fragile. You didn't mean to? You held his hand in public. 3 years, Maya. I know. I wasn't thinking he understands me differently, I guess. Differently. He's not me. I know, she said, almost whispering. I don't know how to explain. You can't. That's the problem. Please, I want you to understand. I never wanted to hurt you. I swallowed, the words like knives cutting into me. You did, Maya. You did. Silence hung between us. Later, Ryan appeared at my desk. You okay? Does it look like it? You've been sleeping at your desk again, he said. In your work, it's slipping. I can't focus, I admitted. Everything reminds me of her. Then channel it. Pain's a powerful tool if you use it right. I'm not sure I can. You can. Start small. Just one project at a time. He left me with that, but I couldn't just stop thinking about her. Every laugh, every smile replayed endlessly. That night, I stayed at my computer until 3 a.m., sketching designs no one would see. Ryan called while I worked. You still at it? He asked. I can't sleep, I said. Good. That drive, that focus, it's what'll get you through this. I feel empty, I admitted. Empty can be fuel, he said. Turn it into something tangible. By morning, my apartment was a mess, papers everywhere, coffee cups scattered. But for the first time in weeks, I felt a tiny spark of purpose. At work, my boss, Mr. N, noticed. Ethan, these are impressive. Did you pull an all-nighter? Something like that, I muttered, avoiding his gaze. I want you to lead the next big project, he said. I blinked. Me? Yes. I see your talent. Don't waste it. Later, Ryan nudged me. See? Pain doesn't always destroy. Sometimes it builds. I nodded, trying to believe him. But that night, alone in my apartment, the memories returned. I sat on the floor, staring at my phone. Another message from Maya. Maya, Ethan, I really didn't mean for it to happen. Can we talk? I didn't answer. I didn't want to. But I couldn't stop thinking about her. Ryan called again. You're still obsessed. I can't help it, I said, voice shaking. I loved her. And you still do, he said calmly. Which is why you need to decide, do you let this break you, or do you let it make you stronger? I want to be stronger, I said. Then start, he said. Build something she can't ignore. Build yourself. The next few weeks were a blur. I poured myself into work. I sketched, designed, revised, staying up until my eyes burned. Every project became a way to prove something, not to her, not to Liam, but to myself. One evening Ryan stopped by. You look different. Better. I asked. Stronger, he said. And angrier, but in a good way. I laughed bitterly. I don't know if I should be proud or terrified. Both, he said. That's transformation. Still, when I closed my eyes at night, I saw her laughing with him. The image haunted me. I shook my head. I'll prove it. I'll prove her wrong. I'll show her that what she threw away, I trailed off, is something she can never touch again, Ryan finished. Exactly, I whispered. I didn't know how long it would take, or if she'd ever regret it. But for the first time, I felt purpose beyond heartbreak. I wanted to rise, to succeed, to be someone she'd wish she'd never lost. Even in my darkest moments, the spark remained. A spark fueled by loss, betrayal, and anger. And I clung to it like a lifeline, because I realized something important. Pain could either destroy me or shape me. I chose to let it shape me. Ethan, you've got a call from Technova, Ryan said, leaning against my desk. Already? I asked, glancing at the glowing phone. They want to discuss a design contract. Big one, I swallowed. Big as in huge. Yeah, huge. People are noticing you now, man. I laughed bitterly. Not like anyone who matters. Ryan rolled his eyes. It matters to you. And trust me, it's revenge enough. Revenge? Living well, he said, smirking. The best kind. Forget the rest. I nodded slowly, but inside I still felt hollow. Months of sleepless nights, sketching designs until my eyes burned, and now, recognition. It felt strange, like wearing a suit that doesn't quite fit. The phone rang again. I picked up. Ethan Cole. Mr. Cole, a voice said, we loved your portfolio. Can we meet to discuss a long-term contract? Yes, I said, my pulse racing. When? Tomorrow afternoon. Our office? Perfect. Thank you. After the call, I slumped into my chair. Ryan gave me a thumbs up. See? Progress. Feels unreal, I muttered. Unreal feels like victory, he said. Own it. The next day I met with Technova. The meeting went better than I expected. I pitched designs confidently, answered questions without hesitation, and by the end, they offered me the contract, walking out of their office. I called Ryan. They said yes, I said. I knew it, he said. You're unstoppable when you focus. I don't feel unstoppable, I admitted. I feel empty. That's normal, he said. You'll fill it with pride soon. Weeks later, the contract signed. My name started circulating in the industry. Old colleagues, people who ignored me before, began sending messages. Hey, Ethan. Great work on the project. Congrats, man. Finally, someone paying attention. I smiled, though it didn't reach my eyes. Inside, the memory of her hand in his lingered. Then came the corporate event. I walked in with Ryan by my side. The room was buzzing, people laughing, glasses clinking. And there they were, Maya and Liam. Ethan. Maya's voice called, bright but forced. I turned slowly, studying them. They looked different. She seemed tense, her smile strained. Liam's confidence had faltered slightly, his eyes darting. Hi, Maya, I said, smiling just enough. Congratulations. I hear things are going well. Thanks, she said softly, glancing at Liam. You look happy, I added. She hesitated. Yeah, sure, happy. I tilted my head, smiling faintly. Funny how things change. Her eyes widened slightly. Ethan, yeah, I said, letting the words hang in the air. My voice was calm, composed. I let the silence speak for me. Liam shifted uneasily. You're doing really well, he said, his tone forced. I smiled politely. Thanks. Hard work pays off, right? Yeah, Liam muttered. Maya's lips pressed into a thin line. We should catch up later. I shook my head gently. No, I think we're good here. She looked at me, confusion and something else in her eyes read. Maybe. I raised a glass, walking past them. Enjoy the party, I said lightly, voice steady. Ethan, she called. But I didn't stop. I didn't turn back. Ryan nudged me. Silent victory? I laughed quietly. Exactly. No drama, no fights. Just this, he grinned. Feels good, doesn't it? Better than good, I admitted. Feels like freedom. Freedom's a start, he said. Next step, build something they can't ignore. I nodded, thinking about every sleepless night, every sketch, every ounce of frustration I poured into my work. Every memory of her smiling at him instead of me fueled me at the end of the night. I found a quiet corner, glass of water in hand. People laughed around me, but I felt calm, composed, finally in control. Ryan leaned beside me. You've changed. I have, I said. But not completely. Some scars don't fade. Scars remind you of what you've survived, he said. I smiled faintly. Yeah, I survived. And I thrived. Later, as the crowd thickened, I noticed Maya glance at me from across the room. Her eyes lingered, searching. I caught her gaze and raised an eyebrow. Funny how things change, I whispered under my breath. She looked away quickly. I walked toward the exit with Ryan. She regrets it, said quietly. Maybe, he said. But that's not your problem anymore. I nodded. No, it isn't. Outside, the night air was cool, refreshing. I breathed it in deeply, savoring the moment. For the first time in months, I felt the weight lift slightly from my chest. Next step, I told Ryan, keep building. Bigger projects, bigger wins. Show them who I am now. Exactly, he said, smiling. The world is noticing, and they're just catching up. I looked at the city lights, the reflection of my past fading behind me. I won't forget, but I won't let it stop me, I said. Ryan clapped me on the shoulder. That's the spirit. You're unstoppable now, smiled, finally letting the thought sink in. Unstoppable. Yeah, that's me. And for the first time, the emptiness inside felt lighter, replaced by determination, confidence, and the quiet satisfaction of knowing I had risen. I was at my desk when Ryan nudged me. You heard the latest? About what? I asked, not looking up from my designs. Your ex, he said, smirking. Apparently, paradise isn't so perfect over there. I raised an eyebrow. Go on. Word is? Liam's well, controlling. Jealous. Not exactly the Prince Charming you imagined. I laughed softly, though it felt bitter. Figures. Karma's funny that way. Ryan shrugged. Not my circus. Just saying, don't be surprised if she starts reaching out. And she did. Maya, do you ever think about us? I stared at the message. Part of me ached, a small, old longing flickering to life. But I'd learned better. Me. Sometimes. But I don't dwell on it. Her reply came almost instantly, Maya. I miss the way things used to be. I hesitated before typing. I can't change the past. Maya, I know. I wonder if I made the wrong choice. I stared at my screen, thinking about the nights I stayed up, alone, dreaming of proving her wrong. I thought about the silent victories, the work, the projects. Me. Maybe you did, but that's for you to figure out. There was no response for hours. I felt peace. Strange, unfamiliar, but welcome. Then came a late-night call. My phone rang. Maya stared at it, thumb hovering over decline. Then I answered. Ethan, I'm sorry, she said immediately, voice breaking. I didn't mean for any of this. I know, I said calmly. Go on. She sniffled. He's different than I thought. Liam, he's suffocating me. I can't, he yells. He decides everything. I'm miserable. I listened quietly. Her sobs filled the line. Part of me remembered the times I comforted her, held her hand, stayed awake while she cried. But this time, I didn't reach out. I didn't offer solace. I'm so sorry, she continued. I thought I wanted excitement. I thought he was fun. But I made a mistake. I should have stayed with you. I felt a sharp twist in my chest, but it wasn't longing anymore. It was clarity. Strength. I hear you, I said softly. But you need to face your choices yourself. Ethan, please no, I said firm. Not this time. You can't call me to fix your mistakes. There was silence, broken only by her soft, ragged breathing. I understand, she whispered finally. Good, I said. Now you figure out what's next. That's your life. She hung up. I didn't dial back. I didn't feel the familiar ache of loss. I felt free. The next morning, Ryan leaned against my doorway. You sound different. I don't care anymore, I admitted. For the first time, I'm not twisted up in her choices. I can just be. That's growth, he said. And you earned it. I nodded. I realized something. She left me for excitement, and now she's trapped in misery. Karma doesn't need my help. Nope, he said with a grin. It's already at work. I smiled faintly. Funny, isn't it? How life works. Ryan shook his head. Not funny. Just satisfying in a way. Weeks passed. Maya's messages slowed, then stopped. Word reached me from mutual friends that she and Liam were constantly fighting, that he was increasingly controlling, increasingly insecure. I felt no glee, just calm. The chaos of their relationship wasn't mine to manage anymore. I watched silently, like observing a storm pass in the distance. One evening, she sent a short message. Maya, Ethan, I hope you're happy. I stared at it for a long moment. My thumb hovered, then typed slowly. Me. I am. I'm building my life. You should do the same. No reply. I set the phone down, leaning back in my chair. I thought about the nights I cried, the nights I worked, the nights I imagined proving myself. That version of me was stronger now, wiser, determined. Ryan came over with 2 coffees. You look at peace. I feel it, I said. Detached, but not empty. Like I'm finally free. Good, he said, smiling. That's the power of letting go. I sipped the coffee, watching the city lights flicker outside my window. Part of me still remembered her laugh, but it no longer hurt. It was a memory, not a longing. You've changed, Ryan said quietly. Yes, I agreed. I used to think I needed her. Now I know I need me. Me, he added, nudging my shoulder. I chuckled softly. And you. Yes. Another message flashed on my phone, Maya, again. I didn't open it. I didn't need to. The lesson had been learned. I turned back to my designs. Lines, colors, shapes, they made sense. They obeyed me. They didn't lie. They didn't betray. Ryan leaned over my shoulder. Focused. Finally. Yes, I said, voice steady. Focused, strong, and free. No regrets. And for the first time, I believed it. No longing. No heartbreak. No illusions. Just life moving forward. Maya's choices had consequences. Liam was unraveling. And I was untouchable, untangled, and unstoppable. The irony wasn't lost on me. She left me for excitement, only to find herself trapped, and I found peace in detachment. Karma didn't need my help. It was already doing its work. The knock on my door startled me. I wasn't expecting anyone. I peeked through the her. It was her, Maya. I whispered. She looked nervous, eyes wide. Ethan, can we talk? I hesitated. It's late. What's going on? I made a mistake, she said quickly, voice trembling. Liam, he cheated on me. I realized everything, and I need to tell you. I didn't answer. My chest tightened, a mix of anger and something older. Softer, threatening to rise. Please, she said, her voice cracking. I know I hurt you. I know I left you, but I can't keep this inside anymore. I opened the door slowly. Come in, I said. My voice calm, measured. She stepped inside, wiping tears from her cheeks. I'm so sorry, Ethan. I shouldn't have left. I shouldn't have any of it. I watched her, the woman I loved, the woman who broke me, standing there shaking, vulnerable. I know I can't erase the past, she continued. But I want another chance, please. I'll do anything. You cheated on me too, I said softly, not accusing. Just stating the truth that had haunted me for years. I know, she whispered, head bowed. I was stupid, foolish. I was weak. And Liam, he was too. I thought he was different, exciting, but I see now I lost something real. You were real, Ethan. You still are. A lump rose in my throat. My hands itched to reach for her, to hold her, to forgive everything with one touch. But I didn't. I couldn't. I forgive you, I said finally, each word deliberate, heavy with truth. But I can't go back. Her head shot up. What? I forgive you, Maya, I repeated. I forgive the lies. I forgive the betrayal. I forgive the heartbreak. But I cannot go back to what we were. Not because I don't care, but because I've healed. I've grown. And going back would destroy that. Hey, she stared at me. Tears streaming down her cheeks, mouth opening and closing as if to speak. But no words came out. I don't understand, she whispered. You will? I said calmly. Eventually, her hands trembled as she reached for me. I stepped back. Don't, I said softly. This isn't about anger. This isn't punishment. This is finality, and you need to feel that too. Her body shook as she sank into the chair. Ethan, I thought I could fix everything by coming here. I know what you thought, I interrupted gently. But fixing everything isn't my job. It's yours. You chose to leave. You chose to hurt me. And you need to live with that. I won't be the crutch anymore. Her face crumpled. I can't believe how you will, I said. You'll believe it, and it'll hurt, but that's the point. That's the consequence of your choices. You're learning the hard way. She covered her face with her hands, quiet sobs breaking through. I took a deep breath. Look, I won't lie. Part of me still loves you. Part of me wishes I could just forget everything and hold you again. But that part, it's not in control anymore. Healing is. She lifted her head, eyes red and glossy. You're amazing, Ethan. You really are. You don't get to say that anymore, I said softly, but not harshly. You had your chance. You lost it. I can't let you back into my life. Not like that. Not now. Not ever. Her lips trembled. I deserve everything I'm feeling, don't I? Yes, I said. And it's not easy. But you need to feel it. You need to learn. That's the only way you'll understand what you threw away. I moved toward the door. She watched, panic in her eyes. Ethan, please don't. I shook my head. I have to. This isn't anger, Maya. It's clarity. And it's the only way I truly win. Not by hurting you, not by showing revenge, but by living, by moving forward, by letting go. I opened the door and stepped out. She followed, her voice breaking again. Ethan, I forgive you, I said. Once more, steady. But goodbye. I closed the door gently behind me. Not in anger, not with force, but with finality. Standing in the hallway, I felt a strange calm, a warmth that had nothing to do with her. Ryan's voice echoed in my mind. The memory of his encouragement, his pride. You've grown. You've healed. You've won. And I had. I walked to my window, looking out at the city lights, feeling the storm inside me settle. The ache of betrayal had been replaced by the quiet satisfaction of self-respect. The peace that comes from knowing you are untouchable, not because someone else fell, but because you rose. She would regret. Maybe she already did. But that was her story to live, not mine. I whispered to myself, I've won. Not by revenge. Not by holding her pain, but by healing. By choosing me. For the first time in years, I felt complete. No longing. No heartbreak. No illusions. Just clarity, strength, and the freedom I had fought so hard to achieve. I poured coffee into my mug, watching the steam curl upward. The morning was calm, the city outside my window bathed in soft sunlight. Looks like you're finally relaxed, Ryan said. Leaning against my doorway with his usual grin, I am, I admitted, taking a slow sip. It's peaceful. Almost surreal. It's months of hard work, sleepless nights, heartbreak, and now. Now, I said, smiling faintly, I'm alive. Really alive? You sound different, he said. Like the old pain doesn't haunt you anymore. It doesn't, I said firmly. Not like before. I still remember, of course. But I've learned, Ryan, pain doesn't have to imprison you. It can shape you. He nodded. That's growth, Ethan, and you earned it. I pulled out my journal, pen hovering above the paper. I wrote something last night, I said. Let's hear it, he encouraged. I smiled faintly, reading aloud. She taught me that love without honesty is poison. That trust is sacred, and betrayal is a wound you can't ignore. But I healed. I grew. And I'm free. Ryan clapped lightly. Powerful. Really powerful. I mean it, I said. Every word. It's not bitterness. It's clarity. She left me. In that absence, it gave me everything I needed to find myself. Later that afternoon, I walked through the park near my apartment, journal in hand. A woman approached, gentle with kind eyes. Hi, she said softly. I'm Alina. I notice you reading. Mind if I sit? Sure, I said, moving my bench slightly. We talked for hours. Small things at first, books, coffee, the city skyline. She laughed at my jokes, smiled at my awkwardness, and listened like every word mattered. I feel safe around you, I said finally, hesitating, and I haven't said that in a long time. Safe? She asked, tilting her head. Yes, I said, nodding. I'm healed, mostly. But I've learned that healing doesn't mean rushing, doesn't mean forgetting. It means becoming whole again, learning to breathe without fear, and trusting yourself to stand alone. She smiled warmly. That's beautiful, and I'm glad you're here. Me too, I said quietly. Days turned into weeks. I poured energy into work, keeping up with Ryan's advice, exploring creative projects, building a life I could be proud of. Alina became a gentle presence, never rushing, never demanding. It's just existing as a reminder that connection could be kind. One evening, Ryan called. Meet me at the cafe. Which one? I asked. You know, the one where everything ended? I felt a flicker of something, but it wasn't hurt. It was calm curiosity. Sure, I said. The cafe smelled the same coffee, pastries, and faint memories. I ordered a latte, sat at the same corner table, and watched the people around me. Life went on. People laughed, spoke, argued, loved, and I was part of it again. Ryan slid into the seat across from me. So, he asked. So I said, smiling genuinely, I finally understand. I thank her for leaving. He raised an eyebrow. You mean it? Yes, I said softly. Every tear, every sleepless night, every heartbreak, it led me here. To this moment, to peace, to clarity, to life I built without her. A barista brought my coffee, and I sipped slowly, eyes scanning the room. Children laughed at a nearby table. A couple held hands by the window. My chest swelled not with longing, but with gratitude for the lessons life had forced upon me. You're different now, Ryan said quietly. I am, I agreed. I used to think revenge mattered, that showing her I was better mattered, but it doesn't. Healing mattered. Rising mattered. Living mattered. I opened my journal again, jotting a line. I am grateful for pain, for lessons, for endings that became beginnings. I am whole. Ryan smiled. You've come a long way. I have, I said, closing the journal. And I know there's more ahead. Work, life, love, but this feeling of calm, that's victory. Silent, internal, complete, Lena's voice called gently from the doorway. Hey, Ethan, mind if I join? Of course, I said. She sat, placing her hand lightly on mine. No rush, she said. We'll see where this goes. I nodded, feeling the truth of my words. No rush, no pressure, just presence. Just life, just me. Ryan nudged me. Looks like a new chapter. Exactly, I said. A better one. One I've earned. I glanced around the cafe once more, letting the memories wash over me without weight. The pain, the betrayal, the heartbreak, they were part of me. Yes, but they no longer defined me. I whispered under my breath, almost to myself. I thank her for leaving. The past no longer owned me. I sipped my latte. Smiling genuinely for the first time in years, the city moved around me, life carried on, and I was finally free. And in that freedom, I found joy. Not because someone returned, not because I proved myself, but because I had healed. Because I had risen. Because I had learned to live fully, wholly, and without fear. I turned to Alina, meeting her eyes. I think I'm ready, I said softly. She smiled, gentle and kind. Me too. Ryan leaned back, satisfied. Well done, Ethan. You did it your way. Yes, I said quietly, letting the words settle in. My way. And it feels perfect. The cafe bustled around us, life happening in real time, and for the first time, I felt that I truly belonged to myself, to my choices, and to the future I was ready to embrace.